Welcome back to the Delaware Way. If you live in Wilmington and you go to arts festivals, you've probably heard of Fouryouth Productions or at least seen their work, and now here they are. Nick Martin is the board vice president, and Braheem Wilson is a student at Fouryouth Productions. Thank you so much both for being here. Let's start with the basic. What is Fouryouth Productions?
Sure. Well, thank you for having us.
Sure.
Fouryouth Productions is a nonprofit that combines, we teach photography in combination with science, engineering, and culinary art.
I saw that as part of your mission statement, and I thought, well, how do they do that?
Well, I will tell you in a second. But we teach that to students in the city that might not normally have access to hands-on activities or different experiments that they can get inside the classroom. At the end of the day, though, our students actually create photography through the different activities or experiments that they're learning, and then they produce their own photography. They then actually sell their own artwork at events we have throughout the year that you've seen at different art loops or different art shows. And 100% of the profits from those art sales actually go into a student college fund for the Fouryouth students.
So you do this through the state?
We do it through the individual schools, actually. So by being a student there, they have access to our after-school program. When it's just, Braheem could talk about it. How did you hear about us?
You want to take over? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was like I was in 5th grade, and my friends joined like a couple months prior, and they were like, "Oh, you should come to the aftercare program for youth, and it's like photography and food, and you get to eat." And it's like, so I thought it was like, okay, I'll go with my friends. And then we went, and then after like a couple classes, I was like, oh, this is fun. So like, I wonder if like I asked questions. I was like, oh, how often is this? Like, is it a weekly thing? Is it a daily thing? And they were like, oh yeah, it's like almost every day we come. We do photography and engineering and like cooking and stuff like that. So like, I thought it was fun. So I decided to stay, and like now here I am, just after.
And how long has it been that you've been in the program?
For 3 years.
For 3 years. And what skills do you feel like you have that you didn't have at the time?
Public speaking is one, because and like also like approaching people more often, because like at our art events, like he said, we have to like approach people and like talk about our artwork and like give them a tour of the room, that like what we're selling and like how it was taken and stuff like that.
Well, that's wonderful, and this is what your mission's all about, right?
Yeah, so that's a good example of the engineering and photography coming together. You asked sort of how do we combine the arts and the sciences. Another good example is we often combine our culinary art in our science classes. So in the science, they'll maybe use the acid from a lemon to make an acid-base reaction, and then they'll use that lemon, incorporate it into a recipe into the culinary art. So they'll get that within the same day as part of our programming. So we're really focused on intertwining the two.
Everybody wants to grow, including nonprofits. Do you grow through other schools hiring you?
Yeah, I think every time we work with a new school or with a new organization, we're reaching out to more students, and we're constantly growing our curriculum. We're growing these partnerships. I think it's helped us certainly get to where we are now, and as of 2 weeks ago, we've officially opened our own studio space, which has been a goal of ours for 3 or 4 years now. So then, in addition to going to schools, we can now invite students to our own space to hold classes for evenings or weekends. So it's a very exciting time for us.
And how does the school get a hold of you? How would they sign up for this?
They can go to our website and reach out to our contact@fouryouth.org email. Or we're probably at some art loop event every month, but definitely social media is a good way to reach out to us.
And Braheem, do a sales pitch for him. So talk to the schools that aren't signed up for this program as to what this has meant to you and why they should sign up.
Okay, I think they should sign up because like it's like if for a person who hasn't like been introduced to photography or engineering, like I wasn't really big on photography or engineering until I joined Fouryouth. Like you might find like your new hobby or something like that, because now like when I see something that I like to take a picture of, like I'll just like pull out my phone, like take a picture, and then like sometimes I'll like go back to like open up like Photoshop or something and edit it myself, and then like just keep it as like a memory of like, oh, I took this day, and like like new experiences, like you learn something new. So,
yeah, and you obviously have a talent, and it's a talent that may not have been realized if you didn't find them. Right. So, and there may be a lot of students out there that need the same opportunity. Thank you so much both for being here. Nick Martin is a board vice president, and Braheem Wilson, a student at Fouryouth Productions. When we come back, there is a startup that is taking on one of the most iconic brands in the country. It's a startup right here in Delaware. You'll meet the founder when the Delaware Way continues.